Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. How's everybody doing? So hold on. I'm going to turn off the back camera for a second. Welcome in. I'm not playing a bunch of music and stuff because we're here to have a chat as a community. As of just a few minutes ago, President Vladimir Putin on Russian television has declared a special military operation to, quote, denazify and pacify Ukraine. Okay? We're getting this information within the last 20 minutes, the same as everywhere else. And what we're here to do is we're here to chat with you guys about it. We're here to monitor some Twitter feeds together. And we're just here to talk, right? We don't have anything more breaking than you do right now. But what we're hoping for is if you have sources or resources, you can help point us to those. But you know, this is starting. This is starting. There are also reports coming out of Kiev of some form of an explosion on Twitter right now. A lot of misinformation is going to be coming out right now. So please take everything that you see with a grain of salt. But Vladimir Putin himself has said that he is authorizing a special military operation. And what I'll do for you guys is I'll post a link to the English version of that. That way, you know, if you want to break away from the stream and go and watch that, you're welcome to. Okay. That's coming up right now. Man, this sucks. Welcome in. Let us know where you're chiming in from. Again, if you have specific resources or something along those lines that you'd like to point us to, please do so. What I'm doing right now is I'm actually trying to pull up the Kiev live feed. And something interesting to me at the moment is that I can't get this thing to start playing again. It was playing a little bit earlier on. Okay. The only thing for sure Putin has said is everything speculation until confirmed. So again, a lot of the Twitter feeds that we're seeing right now are from people supposedly on the ground that there are explosions in Kiev at the moment, and that's absolutely terrifying to me. Right. I'm watching the internet info UA and out of the country. That stream camera was shot. Yep. So we're still trying to pull up different resources and different sources. But again, we're just here to talk with you about it. You know, this is the what we've kind of had an eye on for some time now. Other people have the same problem with the feed. Are they? Okay. Not World War III. They're being shown live on CNN. I'm pulling up another feed right now. It's still refreshing. We can also try and pull up a different Kiev feed for Sophia Square. Sophia Square feed is down as well. Use the RT live feed. Okay. RT live. How's everybody doing? Welcome in. This is stuff that's hitting the ground right now. Here we go. We're going to play this with a little bit of sound.
Now, with life becoming increasingly dangerous in Donbass due to the shelling there, a huge number of people have been fleeing to Russia. RT's Donald Corter reports from a temporary shelter for the arrivals.
Welcome in, Unwanted Potato. This is horrifying.
The recent estimates suggest that around 100,000 evacuees from the Donbass region have made their way into the Russian Federation since this evacuation began. And right behind me, you can see the border actually.
Still seeing reports of blasting in Kiev.
Specifically, the Lugansk People's Republic that was just recognized as independent by Russia. There's also the Donetsk People's Republic, but that's a bit farther away. Now,
is
you
this
can
true?
See I'm
yes.
wearing,
yes, it is.
A bulletproof vest here. The border situation is fine. It's very actually safe, but there have been a couple instances of shells falling onto artillery.
So what we're dealing with right now, for those that are just joining us, is Vladimir Putin has officially declared war on Ukraine, authorizing a special military operation to, quote, pacify and denazify Ukraine. Okay.
Just a number of hours to basically register and for the authorities to find out if they have.
I'm also going to pull up the flight tracker here.
Live within the Russian Federation, and if not, they're issued an
if we could take a look at what's going on in the flight world.
Housing facility in Rostov region where they can go to for perhaps a day or two, and then they're going to be moved on to other Russian regions for longer term stay. Now, we have also seen.
Apologies for interrupting that package. We are going to cross live now to an address of the Russian President Vladimir Putin to the nation.
I'll start off by reminding you what I said in my address on February the 21st. I'd like to go back to some of the concerns, the fundamental threats that have gradually evolved, that have been created by irresponsible policymakers in the West.
Looks pretty calm and quiet.
I'm referring to the enlargement of NATO eastward.
RT is Russian state propaganda. I'm tracking. I want to know what Russia's telling their people right now.
Over the 30 years, we've been persistently trying, but in vain, to agree on the principles of indivisible and equitable security. We've sent proposals, but we've heard lies or attempts to blackmail and bullying. In the meantime, NATO, despite our concerns and protests, has been expanding steadily. The military machine is moving ahead, and as I said, is coming to our borders.
Give me a second, guys. I'm trying to get all this stuff set up for you. We went live as soon as we found out. As soon as we found out.
Why is it happening? Why do they have this manner of a bully to speak with us with such insolence? Why
Russia hasn't made an official declaration. Yes, they
don't
have.
they care about our interests
they have.
and legitimate requests?
We don't
and
need to get
demands?
involved, do we?
The answer
Technically
is
not.
very simple.
Technically not, according to Ukraine being a non-NATO member ally, right? That really only affords us the opportunity to provide arms and intelligence support.
Actually,
Notice flights.
up, and it's a
All
great
flights
history lesson for us.
just blocked right now.
Paralysis of power and will as the first stage to degradation.
This will lead to us
and
being attacked as
oblivion.
Americans must be ready to trust no mainstream media.
Once you lose confidence, and that's it, you're lost.
Trying to follow the Twitter feeds as well
The
as this is
equilibrium
happening,
of
guys.
Power in the world was undermined, and the previous arrangements were no longer effective.
Something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind. Not a lot of people here are aware of my background. My background is in Army information operations, and we spent a lot of time studying Russia. There's going to be a lot of misinformation that's coming out of Russia right now, okay? One of the feeds that I follow that actually not a lot of people follow is called Poised Tactical. At Poised Tactical. This guy, strongly
if
recommend.
you disagree, then you're going to be cracked down.
UN is currently streaming. Yeah, we can pull up UN's feed.
Well, what I was saying just now is concerns not just Russia. It actually is true for the entire system of international relations, and very often it does apply to US allies. Following the collapse of the Soviet Union, a redivision of the world began, and international law...
Just jumped in the stream. Quick recap of what I missed. Not much so far. We're just kind of getting set up here to be trying to follow everything. I just started us up. We're monitoring some flight radar. We're going over Putin's recent speech, where I'm led to understand that he authorized a special military operation, quote unquote, to pacify and denazify Ukraine.
And the new balance, but we had to do it in a patient way with due respect to the interests of all the nations. And you also have to be aware of your responsibility. However, that did not happen. The euphoria of your ultimate superiority, that's a kind of a contemporary absolutism.
Even CNN reporting the special military operation says its troops will take action in Donbass.
And they
So right now it looks like they're going to be relegated to the east, but we're seeing that Kiev and Kharkiv are being bombed.
Scenario playing out. There are a lot of examples. First, they held a bloody military operation
At Poised
against
Tactical.
Belgrade
At
without
Poised
any
Tactical.
UN authorizations. They used missiles and air force right in the heart of Europe. Several weeks they bombed cities,
So
civilian
the stream is still early. The stream is still early, guys. We're going to be here for a little while, maybe a couple hours, a little longer even.
counterparts of these facts. They don't want
Bombing in
to,
Kiev,
be
supposedly.
reminded.
Supposedly reports and on Twitter about it. This is from
We
Kharkiv.
bring it up, they prefer not to rely on
Pull up a map of that.
international law. They just try to cite the circumstances that they could interpret in the way they like. Then came Iraq, Libya, Syria, illegitimate use of power against Libya, the
Kharkiv is pretty far from Ukraine.
UN Security Council decisions led to the complete collapse.
We're getting this information live along with you guys. Along with you. We just wanted to go live with you and just be here to talk.
Into a humanitarian catastrophe
Look for cyber attack on the U.S. if involving
is
themselves.
still ongoing.
Yep, massive explosions in Kharkiv. Yep.
Millions of people are now in a dangerous situation.
If it really hits the fan, then my country is doomed. Where are you chiming in from?
Africa. Same scenario was prepared for Syria. Military action by the US-led coalition without the authorization of the UN Security Council resolution and the consent of Syrian authorities is an
We got something here from Twitter. Some explosions.
The invasion of Iraq. You know,
Explosions being reported all across Ukraine right now, not just Kharkiv.
They said that there is some highly likely information that Iraq has
Not much is going to happen to the Russians to take Ukraine in a week. The only thing America's EU are going to do is put down some economic sanctions. Well, the sanctions were largely around basically a halt, right? So taking a step further, who knows what's going to happen, to be honest with you.
The world that this is the weapons of mass destruction.
Rocket salvos from DPR, LPR. So as we're doing this, we're going to be launching videos of all of this stuff while it's happening on the app. Make sure you have the app downloaded. Make sure you guys are regularly checking in on that. The writers are hitting the overtime tonight. Myself, Funker, all of us are sitting here with you, learning as much as we can, as quickly as we can.
I have an impression that
I'm scared that something crazy might happen. Crazy is happening right now. That's happening now.
You just have those tragedies and hotbeds of terrorism and extremism. Now, what I mentioned are the most glaring examples, but not the only ones when international law is undermined. And again, they promised not to move NATO not an inch to the east, and they just cheated on us. They just framed us, set us up. They let us down. You often hear that politics is a dirty business. Well, but not to such an extent. Come on, give us a break. And such.
These are supposedly some of the locations that have been hit across Ukraine right now.
To morale. What about justice? What about the truth? You can only see blatant lies and hypocrisy. And US policymakers, journalists, think tankers say that in the past years, there's an empire of lies in the US. Well, I can only agree with that. That's true. But the US is a great country. It's a systemic power. All of its satellite nations, its proxies, sing along, and they copy its behavior, and they happily borrow the rules that are imposed on them. So you can safely say that the entire Western bloc, shaped by the US, according to its design, is entirely the empire of lies. As for Russia, following the Soviet Union,
For those that are just joining us, this speech is actually a little bit delayed because the majority of it has already taken place, from what I could tell. Russia has officially declared a special military operation on Ukraine, and what that means effectively is that he has declared war, right? This is the beginning. Explosions have been reported kind of all across Ukraine right now. I'll pull up a supposed map of that. The important thing to remember here is that there's going to be a lot of misinformation coming out. So we're getting this stuff just as fast as you guys are. And if you have sources and things that you'd like to point us to share with the community, let us know. Okay?
Backbone of international terrorism in the Caucasus. We will never forget about it. There have been attempts to use Russia in their own interest, to destroy our traditional values and to impose their own pseudo-values, which would destroy which would be a ticking bomb for the Russian nation within the same principles they want to impose on themselves that they lead to degradation because they run counter to the nature to human nature. And that won't happen. No one in history has been able to do that, and they won't succeed in doing this. But in December 2022, we reached out to the US and their allies to
we're not gonna listen to much of this. I think a lot of what Putin is talking about right now is really just justification. Again, more misinformation is going to be coming out of Russia than it would blow your mind how much. But there's gunfire happening all over the place, supposedly near the airport in Kiev, landing troops near Mariupol. So something pertinent to note is there have been collection assets. This is Ukraine here, right? There have been intelligence collection assets here for a few weeks now, just soaking the area for intelligence. And there was a fleet that passed from the Med all the way into the Black Sea to land here. There's another channel that I like to follow quite a bit because of my intel background, called S2 Underground. I'm going to give them a shout out really quick because they've been breaking down this situation pretty regularly over the past few weeks. Essentially, the plan of action is an envelopment, right? And troops have built up along the east, north, and southern borders of Ukraine over the course of the last few weeks. There are reports of explosions in Kharkiv, gunfire in Kiev. Of course, Donbass is just, kind of loses its mind. Donetsk and Luhansk. It has started. The war in Ukraine has started. You're talking as if no. Hear me out. Hear me out. Like I said, we are getting the same information that you guys are, right? We are getting the same information that you guys are. We're only here to talk with you, here to share with you what we've got. Do you think this will turn nuclear? No, I don't. That's not because it can't. I am banking on the fact that our leadership at various levels across the globe understand the ramifications of that. That's what I'm banking on. Welcome in. Fake. I don't think it's fake, right? When Vladimir Putin himself has said, I am authorizing a special military operation in Ukraine, and explosions start happening across Ukraine, that's probably not fake. My bet this won't extend past Donbass. There are, like I mentioned earlier, there are reports in Kiev of gunfire, right? We're watching a live feed of Kiev right here. I'm continuously grabbing new feeds and things to bring over. You guys are very early in the stream. We've only been live now for 20 minutes. As you have things, as you identify additional sources for us to use, we're here to be with the community. All right? Look at all the trolls. These are not the droids you're looking for. Afghanistan played out, COVID played out, perpetual terror, and murder of the masses. So again, if you're just joining us, things have probably officially kicked off, if you will, with Putin's speech, with explosions that we're seeing reports of across Ukraine. Let's pull this feed up here. Come on, you. This is just basic Ukraine search, and this is all you need to do. And you're welcome to do this yourself, or you can hang out here with me. Man, this is not good. Funker, you've got the same Kiev feed I do, looking at other local open cams. Yep. Put the Poise tactical link in the chat. Yep, absolutely. Happy to do that. This is actually someone that I follow. He's also a friend of mine, stays very well connected with a lot of the things that are going on. RIP Western Europe and USA. NBC News saying explosions now. Yep, tracking that. We're hearing and seeing reports of explosions all across Ukraine. There was a map further down here. That's the Utah crash. So things have officially kicked off, if you will. Let's get another feed up here. We'll pull up the flights in the area. Everything's pretty much grounded. We've got a flight here in Moldova. It's pretty close. But there's almost no air traffic anywhere near Ukraine. All air traffic is supposedly being shut down. I've got some Odessa feeds here that might work. Let's see if I can find something from Donetsk. I'm not seeing any Donetsk feeds at the moment. Nothing there. Sent Funker a video of Mariupol, Ukraine. Okay. Let me see if he has added that to something we can look at. Ronnie, can you stream Willie's video? Yep. Coming up now. So this is from Willie beating cancer.
In far eastern Ukraine. We've just been woken up maybe half an hour ago. I've been getting ready via shelling. Russia has declared war on Ukraine. There has been traces and rockets seen in Kharkiv, which is a city of 2 million people, about 10 kilometers from the Russian border, maybe 300 or 400 kilometers north from here, and explosions reported in the capital of Kiev. Take it by no fucking bullshit. Ukraine is under attack by Russia. We are taking steps personally in place of what we do from now, but this is what, personally, I was not expecting. Like, I have always planned as if this would happen. I did not think this would happen. The feeling on the ground, my gut was telling me that we would not be on full-scale invasion. But you can just hear a shell then. A little bit in the back of my mind always told me, this could actually happen. So, of course, we're prepared for this as much as we can be. But, this is the news right now. We are being invaded. Matthew Williams, it is 05:05 on the 24th of February, Thursday morning. About to take, imminent action against what is happening as Russia invades Ukraine.
All right, so that's a good friend of ours, Willie beating cancer. So he is our eyes and ears on the ground in Ukraine right now. Like you heard, he was woken up and the invasion has happened. Now, we do have a snapshot from on the ground here that's more or less being ripped off the internet at the moment. We can't seem to keep it up. This is the best thing that we have is just some dude with a rifle. I don't really have any context for this, but we don't yet have any ground operations feeds or anything like that we can share with you. That supposedly this picture is at the border. This picture is at the border, according to the writers in my ear right now. Putin's puppet Trump. Blah blah. It's not our business. I mean, it could become our business pretty quick. That's one of the reasons that we're here, trying to bring you guys information as soon as we get it, right? As soon as we get it. Welcome in, folks. If you're just now joining us, Vladimir Putin has officially declared war on Ukraine, authorizing a special military operation to, quote, pacify and denazify Ukraine. Am I the only one pretty scared already? I mean, if you're not at a bare minimum concerned, there's probably something wrong with you, right? Just keeping it all on the table, right? Do we have anybody in the chat from Ukraine right now? Could this spill over to other countries? One of the things about wars, it's dynamic. You know, just about anything could happen. I think Putin would probably be wise to keep that from happening. But anything could happen. Are you restreaming RT Russian propaganda channel? So we were playing RT specifically because I wanted to see, and I'm trying to figure this stuff out live with you guys. All right, you know, I don't have anything breaking to bring you. We're learning this as you are, but I want to see what Russia is hearing, what Russia is seeing. And thank you very much for the super chats. $5 from Blaster Mike and $10 from GZ Baby. Appreciate both of you. According to Willie, they expect phones and internet to go down soon as well. That's going to pretty heavily limit the amount of information that we're able to get direct. So Willie is in Ukraine right now, and he is our eyes and ears on the ground. I'm going to pull back up the Twitter feed, see if we can't find a few more things here. Got it. Mariupol. All right, so I've got footage from Mariupol here, and it is horrendous. So a citizen opening up their door to just absolute carnage in Mariupol. Trying to get it back up here. Listen, something like 1 in 4 men have performance issues. I really don't want to talk about it too much. Coming up now. You can hear it. So that's coming out of Mariupol. I'll play that again for you. This is going to be going out to the app. This is in Mariupol, Ukraine. I'll pull up a map here in a moment. We're going to keep that. We're going to keep that on the side because I'm going to want to play that a few times. This video is now live on the app and on the website, so jump on in there. Let me show you where Mariupol is. So that's on the southeastern coast of Ukraine. 90s car alarm is their air raid siren. You could hear those explosions in the background. Play that again for those that haven't seen it, and this will probably be the last time. And then you guys can head over to the app and the website. If you don't have the app downloaded, !app. Lots of explosions in the background there. I'd be interested to understand, which direction we're oriented there. That would be interesting to understand. Gonna pull up a few more feeds here. Might have another view. I do. I have another view of that Mariupol activity, I think. Similar. similar view, but definitely somebody else recording it. Unless it's the same view, just cut. I think it's the same view, just cut. As the writers are identifying some of this footage and stuff, I'll be sharing it with you here, okay? Airstrike in Kiev. Got it. Full. Oh, man, that's the feed. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Coming up now for you guys. Yikes. This is Kiev. I'll play that again for you. We're going to keep that feed live. So that's this feed here. No, I want theater. That's this feed here. We're going to keep that up for now. Amphibious assault from the south now. Okay. Yeah, we were just watching. So is that in amphibious assault near Odessa? I think I have some feeds for Odessa. Let me pull those up. No, that's Poland or Poised Tactical, not Polinar. See if I can get those feeds for Odessa pulled up. Judge Lazar, I got your message, brother. I got your message, dude. Just stay in touch with the writers, brother. And you know, we'll weed through what we can. You guys know that we're a small team, and we're trying to piece together all of this at the same time that you are. Okay, all of this at the same time that you are. See if I get some of these Odessa feeds up here. That one doesn't appear to be responding. Something to keep in mind is there's an expectation, and there should be an expectation that network is going to go down, right? So everything from EW soak to infrastructure, from a cabling perspective, they're going to take Ukraine's ability to communicate externally off of the table. Wait, he's pushing into Ukraine. For those that are just joining us, hi, I'm Ronnie. I actually just ended the stream over on my other channel to come here and do this. For those just joining us, Vladimir Putin has officially declared some level of war on Ukraine by announcing a special military operation to, quote, pacify and denazify Ukraine. We're seeing explosions in Kiev. We're seeing, we're hearing of amphibious assaults coming from the south, probably near Odessa. And we're also seeing reports of gunfire near Kiev, really all across, the southern, eastern, and northern borders of Ukraine right now. Go ahead. Got it. The Kiev airstrike that you guys just watched is now live on the site as well. So make sure you guys have the app. ! App is the command that you can run to get the link to download it. Make sure you have the app because we're going to be pushing this stuff out. That way, if you do need to break away from the stream, it's going to be here first. But if you do need to break away from the stream as we're identifying this footage, you can have it on the app, and it'll if you have notifications enabled, it'll ping you. Okay? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to enable slow mode a little bit faster, or a little bit slower, excuse me. That way I can keep up with the chat. I'm too stupid, guys. I'm too stupid. All right, click and save on that. So slow mode should be rolling. Let's see if I can get one of these Odessa feeds rolling. We got a traffic cam in Odessa. Yeah, here we go. This is a traffic cam in Odessa right now. massive what, brother? Got it. Another massive strike in Mariupol. They don't give an F on that cam. Yeah, so the assault from the south, supposedly in or near Odessa, you know, these folks are kind of just smoking and joking here. Let's check on updates on the tweeter. Here's a statement from Biden. The prayers of the world are with the people of Ukraine tonight as they suffer an unprovoked and unjustified attack by Russian military forces. President Putin has chosen a premeditated war that will bring catastrophic loss of life and human suffering. I'm going to put a link to the White House statement in the chat. Let's check something at the beach here. See if I can get the Odessa beach up. So I've got a feed of the Odessa beach right now. It looks pretty empty. I'll pull that up for you guys. Hey guys, thanks for subbing on the other channel over there. I appreciate that. I'm gonna turn off all of my alerts from that other side though. I do appreciate it. This is supposedly a feed from direct out of Odessa. I'll give you a link to that feed. We'll keep that one close at hand here. Come on. I need this to, whatever. Just catching up on any potential Twitter updates that we have. Christian, thank you very much for hitting the join button. Welcome to the Funkers. Nothing there right now. Let's keep looking through these feeds, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We already looked at that one. Pump rooms. Here's another one of the beach in Odessa. Okay. I might have something good here.
We got him.
Here we go. Explosions in Kakova. Near Odessa, there are reports of an explosion. I'm going to give you guys this feed. I'm not familiar. Something to keep in mind. I'm not familiar with this source.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not familiar with this source, but I think it's something that I'm going to pay close attention to.
We got him.
Hey, thank you very much for joining, folks. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. So, if you're just now joining us, the war in Ukraine has officially kicked off with a lot of activity on at least the southern, as reported, and eastern, as identified in video, after Vladimir Putin tonight announced right around 10 o'clock Eastern Standard that he has authorized a special military operation in Ukraine. Okay. So what we're doing here is I don't have anything breaking to give you over the course of time while watching the stream. Our writers are actively and journalists are actively out there hunting and searching for any updates that we can provide. As we get those, I'll be showing them live on the stream, but we'll also be launching those in the app, recognizing that at least in the US or in the West, it's starting to get pretty late in the day. This is all going to be available to you in the app. Make sure you have it downloaded. Make sure you have notifications on, because we are putting in the overtime right now. Eastern Ukraine, right? Yes. But like I said, you know, there are reports of activity near Odessa. Now, we have been looking at some Odessa feeds and have yet to see. This is an Odessa feed here. I've also got an Odessa beach feed here that I'm going to pull up that I don't see a whole lot of activity on. But we're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to keep an eye on it, guys. All right? And thank you very much for joining us. Alex, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you for all the subs, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For those that are unfamiliar with Funker530, we've been around for over a decade covering combat footage. This is the bread and butter. This is what we do. You're seeing a little bit of behind the scenes on the process right now. So as we identify this footage, like I said, we're going to be showing it to you here first. So far, we have footage that we've posted of explosions in or near Kiev, the Ukrainian capital. We also have some explosion footage near Mariupol. And we're finding this stuff actively as it comes out. Now, what's likely to happen here soon, if it hasn't, you know, already started to happen, is, you know, an electronic warfare soak of the area, especially specific to the areas where the activity is most heavy. That's going to happen. So getting that on the ground footage, we're going to end up getting lucky if we do find it. Going to keep going through other feeds here. Kiev airport fallen. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that yet. We are monitoring the Kiev feed here. We can go full screen on this. This is the best quality that we've got. It says it's 1080p, but it's dark, right? Still a lot of traffic moving. That's something important to note here. Here you go. A lot of traffic moving. I'm going to slide over this way so you can see what I'm talking about. We got a lot of movement here in both directions, not necessarily in one direction. But the video that we posted to the app a little bit earlier that I can pull back up here in just a moment, heavy explosions in this area. I'd love to better understand what direction, you know, what cardinal direction we're looking at here. I don't have a whole lot of information, but this is a live feed from Kiev at the moment. Oh, thank you very much for the $20 super chat. Darth, Dave, Mark, and Christian, thanks very much for becoming members. Ryan, thank you for the $10 super chat. Steven, thank you for the $4.99. Blake, thank you for the $5. I appreciate that, guys. That any support that you're able to provide here does keep the ship moving. Let's refresh our interactive map here and see if there's anything of pertinence that has happened recently. More explosions reports in Odessa. What do we got here? Massive explosions hit the Ukrainian port city of Mariupol. Wow. Let's get in close on that. We'll watch that again. They should be. Got it. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to turn my stream notifications off. There we go. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
That, again, that is in Mariupol. Okay. Because of the traffic hitting the site right now, guys, we are having a slight outage. We are working to get that back online at the moment. Yep. It'll be coming back up here momentarily. Apparently Putin and Lukashenko had a phone call. I already passed along to you guys President Biden's statement. We can pop open the source for that. I'll bring that up full screen for you for a minute. This is a statement from President Biden. I'll let you guys just read through that while I'm sorting through other stuff over here. I'll be monitoring the situation from the White House this evening and will continue to get regular updates from my national security team. Tomorrow, I'll meet with my G7 counterparts in the morning and then speak to the American people to announce the further consequences the United States and our allies and partners will impose on Russia for this needless act of aggression against Ukraine and global peace and security. Huh. All right, let's head back to the interactive map here and see what's hitting. Let's see what we've got going on down here near the south from Crimea. Hundreds of vehicles go to the border with Ukraine. This is reportedly from Crimea. Again, I am live right now. We cannot apply the effort to the writers are behind the scenes, but I am catching this stuff as you guys are. As I'm finding it, they're finding it. They're passing me information to share with you as well.
We got it.
Run that by me again, brother. So one of our admins that helps us out with a lot of the behind the scenes stuff is in the chat with us as well, just helping get a handle on what's going on right now. So that was supposedly from Crimea. We've got a report of an explosion here in I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Kahovka? Oh, that was easier than I thought. Let's look at this. Pretty big plume there. Let's watch it again. Can you post that map feed link again? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You guys can follow along with me here. How to send you footage. If you guys want to send us footage, you can use the submission form. Funker530.com/submit. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. I do appreciate you guys joining me and hanging out. Again, we're just going through information as we're able to find it as it comes out live with you. The guys behind the scenes are putting in all the effort that they can to validate some of this footage, but one of the challenges that you're going to find specific to Russia is misinformation, right? We already actually have a news network episode that's being edited. If you're not familiar with our Funker News Network, there is a playlist for it. Stand by. I gotta turn that off. And thank you for the subs over on my other channel. I do appreciate that. But if you're not familiar with the Funker News Network, we have been trying to add a little bit of context to some of our footage. We have an episode specifically about some of the misinformation videos that do come out of Ukraine. They were caught dubbing over other YouTube video audio, right? So the map that we're looking at right now appears to be crowdsourced, but there still is going to be some misinformation mixed in here. Caveman, thanks for hitting that support button. Welcome into all the subs, folks. We're going to go back to the map. Warplanes hovering above the skies in Kramatorsk.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Okay. Let's go to some of the live feeds now. See if we've got any more activity on these. So this down in the bottom right is Odessa. There were reports of explosions in or near Odessa earlier, and this is Kiev. We have a video of this very feed receiving some form of an explosion at about this spot right here. All right. I'm going to move over here so we can stay close to the map. NATO allies will meet to address the consequences of Russia's actions. Secretary General condemns Russia's reckless and unprovoked attack. Vasilkiv Air Base has been targeted in a missile strike. Let's see if we can go to the source for that. Good copy. All right, I got video of a Russian drone being shot down by Ukrainians. Keeping... Understanding understanding that some of this stuff that we're showing you, we are only able to operate off of initial reports. So as the writers and journalists and team continue to dive into it, we will do our best to update the massive amount of footage that is going to be coming out. There's going to be some left and right, though. Keep that in mind. We are human. We are no different than you. Daniel, thank you for the 20. I'm going to pull down this drone footage here. Josh, do we have a location for this? No worries. Just let me know. This is a Raktar TB2, excuse me, drone. Can you type it? Bayraktar TB2 drone. Or, yeah, Bayraktar TB2 drone. Got it. I'm gonna hide them all. Let's run that one more time. Again, that's a Bayraktar TB2 drone being shot down by a manpad. Okay. Let's go back to some of the live feeds here and the map. Warplanes, that was still 13 minutes ago. Let's dive into some of these down here. These are all independent reports across Twitter of explosions in or near the borders of Donbass. Okay, so we're getting further information on that Bayraktar TB2. That was a Ukrainian drone being shot down. Got it. So Ukraine supposedly had 20 of those Bayraktar TB2 drones, and that is a Ukrainian drone being shot down right now. Aiden, thank you for the 99 cents. The initial report that we had was, or the initial understanding that we had was that it was a Russian drone being taken down. But what we're finding now, and, you know, again, this could change, is it was a Ukrainian drone that got taken down. Make sure you guys are downloading the app, though, as we're going through this footage on the live feed. If you're not able to stick around with us throughout the night, you know, I'm gonna be live as long as I can tonight. But if you're not able to stick around with us, download the app. Make sure you have notifications on, because we're going to be posting this stuff, and by that time we should have some updated analysis for you in there. But make sure you have those alerts turned on. Okay. You said it was Russian, now it's Ukraine. You're getting this live just as quickly as I am, right? Like I mentioned, and words matter. There's going to be some back and forth while the writers continue to evaluate these videos, okay? So we're not going to get it right within the first 5 minutes, but you're going to get it as soon as we do, all right? So for the Bayraktar TB2 drones, they're Ukrainian. They had 20 of those drones, and they were supplied by Turkey. For those that aren't familiar, Turkey is a NATO member. Kiev under attack from cruise and ballistic missiles. Okay, let's slide over to Kiev here. This would be Kiev. Military operation in eastern Ukraine. Military operations just about everywhere in Ukraine. Mostly, it looks like it's mostly east, and we have reports of a lot of activity, especially out of Crimea to the south. But there are reports of activity in Odessa as well. Now, we've got a live feed down in the bottom right for Odessa. This is supposedly a beach in Odessa. I can try to pull up some other ones. But, you know, it's been relatively quiet here. There are two key reports that I've been paying a little bit of attention to down there. Kiev, we also have a feed of up top. Now, we have seen explosions on the live feed in Kiev. We also launched that out in the app as well. Go to the port. Okay. See if I can pull that. All my feeds go. Pull this out. Health track cam in Odessa. Let's see if there's anything there. Nope. Got it. No worries, brother. Odessa port. Okay. So this feed is labeled as the Odessa port. Not much happening there. Gonna pull that up. We're gonna keep Kiev up in that top right corner for now. Okay. Let's check back in on Twitter. See if anything's happening over there. A lot of the same theme, if you have yet to really see that. Let's go to top here, and then we'll go back because I want to go through some of those. I want to go through some of those on the map in eastern Ukraine. See if there's any footage embedded here. Military convoy near Belgorod, excuse me. Excuse me, I do not speak Russian. But this is key here. Look at the activity following that line of control. Amid reports of a power outage and increased military activity in Donetsk, real-time network data show an observable disruption to internet connectivity. Just mentioned that earlier. This is what's going to happen. So that's of course going to make things for us a little difficult to identify, you know, up-to-date footage as it comes out. The best we can do is try to grab it using this as a source, using Twitter as a source. The important piece to remember here, folks, though, is you guys are going to be seeing this on the stream as we identify it, right? Now, the writers, the team behind the scenes at Funker 530, we're not a big team, but they are actively trying to validate as much of this as possible. So if I show you something and initially say it's Russian or it's Ukrainian, and I have to revert on that, I'm only human. We're only human. Relax. We're doing the best that we can to bring as up-to-date information as possible, okay? It looks like it's coming up now. So let's go back to the map here. Let's go back to the map here, guys. That's a little old. What I want to do is I want to figure out if I can limit the total time that we're looking at here, because some of this activity looks like it's a little bit dated. And we'll check back in on a few more of the feeds here as well. Got it. We're going to pull up the UN Council's feed as well.
A special military operation in the Donbass and required the Ukrainian troops to lay down their arms. So in the present circumstances, I must change my appeal. And I must say, President Putin, in the name of humanity, bring your troops back to Russia. In the name of humanity, do not allow to start in Europe what could be the worst war since the beginning of the century, with consequences not only devastating for Ukraine, not only tragic for the Russian Federation, but with an impact we cannot even foresee in relation to
This is live from the UN
their
Security Council.
consequences for the global economy in a moment when we are emerging from the COVID, and so many developing countries absolutely need to have space for the recovery, which would be very, very difficult with high prices of oil, with the end of exports of wheat from the Ukraine, and with rising interest rates caused by the instability in international markets. This conflict must stop now. Thank you very much.
Guys, again,
Thank you very much.
we are showing you this stuff as we get it live, but the analysis that's going to be going in behind the scenes is going to be going into the mobile app. We are regularly pushing out all of these videos that we're looking at, all of the explosions that we're seeing in the app. Use the command !app if there are mods out there that are here with us. If you guys can regularly be making sure people have that link to download the app, turn on your notifications, and ensure that you're able to stay up to date with all of this footage. Okay, I am just showing you the initial cuts of it, but we have a whole team behind the scenes here that's doing our best to validate it, understand it, and hopefully identify as much context as possible. Okay, let's go back to the feed.
In the number of people will lose hope in relation to the future. It is also clear that the consequences for the Russian Federation will be very meaningful. It's not for me to comment on sanctions that are being implemented, but it's clear that there will be also consequences. But what is clear for me is that this war doesn't make any sense. It violates the principles of the Charter, and it causes, or will cause, if it doesn't stop, a level of suffering Europe has not known since at least the Balkanic crisis.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General. Pam Falk from CBS News. Is there anything the UN can do to get Russia back to the bargaining table at this point?
We can, of course, in my case, appeal. The Security Council is the body that has the powers given by the Charter to address this situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Give me a second. Just wanted to make sure that was over. All right, we're going to be pulling up some more footage that we have here. From what I'm hearing from the guys, this is a Russian soldier riding on the top of his tank. Pulling that now. Do we have a location on this yet? Near eastern Ukraine on the way in, supposedly. This is unconfirmed, but look at the column. Look at the column. Do we have anybody in the chat that can help identify those tanks? I'm going to run that again for you. Now, the reason I say this is unconfirmed is a lot of the live feeds that we're looking at right now are quite a bit darker than this. But again, as we find this stuff, as we bring it to the forefront here, we're going to be continuing the analysis on the back end. The guys are continuing to do research to do our best to validate this as much as possible. I don't know how big you guys think we are, but you can count the size of our team on two hands. All right, and the team that's supporting the live stream tonight by identifying this footage, you can count it on one hand. All right, so we are catching this as quickly as you. A lot of people in the chat are saying T-72s and T-80s. Somebody said a Sherman. Thanks for the laugh. I appreciated that. We're gonna just go ahead and go with Sherman. That's gonna be a Sherman tank according to us. We'll make it so. Let's check back in on the map here and see if we're getting any other reports. Let's do a refresh here. Uh-oh. Our map is down. I think you guys crashed it. All right, we're back. We're back. Scroll to the top. Let's move out here. See if we can't get a refresh going on. Strike targets Svatovo. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, let's run that one more time. Let's run that again. Okay. That's here. So we're seeing reports of a lot of strikes that are happening further inland in Ukraine than on the east. We'll check in on some of our other live feeds. See if we can't see anything happening. I don't have any feeds of eastern Ukraine right now. Let's see if I can't find a few feeds of eastern Ukraine. We've got Kiev, excuse me, in the top right, and we have Odessa in the bottom right down there. And I do appreciate you guys tapping on the sub button. Thank you very much for all the super chats and for becoming members of the Funker community. Thank you for that. It's much appreciated. It does help. It does help us a lot. Again, we are a small team, 100% veteran, owned, operated, and run. Every member of our team is a U.S. or allied nation veteran. Okay, so the subs, the super chats, they are very, very helpful for us. We are really only now an hour into the stream. I left the stream on my other channel to come over here and try to bring you guys what I could, as our writers are finding this stuff, as the editors and journalists that we have are finding this stuff. Everybody wears multiple hats. You guys hear me talking a lot to Josh. Josh is not only a writer, he's an editor, he's a journalist. He does content for us. We wear a lot of hats, each of us do. Check Earth global mapping, combine the options. I'll have to look into trying to do that here in a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen,
y'all hiring up for veterans? Thanks for hitting that support button, Mr. Hawkins. Genton, thank you for becoming a member. Harvey, thank you for becoming a member. Black Halo, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that very much. Again, I'm going to keep hunting for some live feeds. See if... Got it. I've got a picture here from, you said Kharkiv? Got it. I've got a picture here of some civilians taking cover in Kharkov or Kharkiv. Feel free to correct me on that. I don't pretend to be able to pronounce this appropriately. And it looks like a subway tunnel that everybody is, kind of huddled around in here. For those that are just joining us, if you weren't here for the start of it, tonight at about 10 o'clock Eastern Standard U.S. time, President Putin
Ladies and
of
gentlemen,
Russia announced that he is approving a special military operation to, quote, pacify and denazify, and I said denazify, Ukraine. Okay. What we're looking at today are the earliest of the pieces of footage that are coming out. I'm going to turn those off. The earliest of the footage that we have that are coming out. Something to keep in mind, though, is a lot of this footage is going to be somewhat unvalidated, especially on the live stream tonight. We are a small team doing what we can to bring you the as fast as possible current situation. Okay. So we have unconfirmed reports that there are paratroopers on the ground in Kiev at the airport. Now we saw a preemptive strike. Yes, Russian paratroopers, excuse me, on the ground at the Kiev airport. I'm gonna bring up some strike footage that we had from earlier. Supposedly that was a preemptive strike, and there are Russian paratroopers on the ground in the airport at Kiev. Give me a second here to get that Kiev airstrike back up. Here it is. Check this back area here. There it is, right there. This is that same feed, the Kiev live feed. That explosion off in the distance was supposedly some form of a preemptive strike. And there are reports of paratroopers on the ground at Kiev airport. If you are in Kiev, if you are in Ukraine, please be dropping into the chat and letting us know what you're seeing, what you're hearing. Our team is monitoring the chat, and if I miss you out there, they will let me know in the ear. They're being a huge help to me right now. Scott Hayes, thank you for the $100 super chat. Thank you for that, sir. That very, very helpful. Anthony, thank you for the 10. Raymond, thank you for the 5. Joe Bob, thank you for becoming a member. LOL Hey, thanks for the 99 cents. Rob, thank you for becoming a member. Country Life, thank you for the $1.99. Eric, thank you for the $5. Thank you guys for the support. It is more than appreciated. Again, we are a small team of veterans doing our best to just bring you footage as we're getting it. You're going to get it live from me first, but it is going out in our app. If you don't have the Funker 530 app, it was developed fully in-house, and we are always updating it to hopefully make it a good place for you to keep up to date on combat footage and news of conflicts around the globe. We also host on our app use of force footage. So if you are interested to better understand what use of force situations might look like wherein you may have to defend yourself, check into our app. Make sure you have notifications on, because we are always pushing out updates on it. All right?
ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Got it. I'll be pulling that up. So our contact on the ground in Ukraine is live right now. What I'm doing is I'm just going to adjust a few things here, and then we're going to pull that up. Willie beating cancer. Willie beating cancer. He is on the ground and is our eyes and ears, if you will. Got it. It doesn't show him as live for me. Let me try to get that pulled up. He went offline. Okay. All right. So Willie is now offline. But Matt Williams is a friend of ours, and he is, another YouTuber, content creator that we do have an official relationship with. He is on the ground in Ukraine. I pulled up a video of his earlier. He was woken up very early this morning with an alert and sirens and such to warn folks that the invasion had started. Got a camera on Donetsk? No, I don't. I'm trying to find a feed of Donetsk. While we're doing that, please make sure you've also hit the thumbs up button. This will help this feed get out there to more folks, right? I hate to shill like that, but That's what we're here for. This is what we do. Normally, this is the process that the team and I, the team, myself, Funker, Josh, Austie, Will, Tim, this is what we work through behind the scenes. We're letting you see a little bit of the behind the scenes effort to identify some of this footage as it's coming out. A couple more super chats and things came in. I want to make sure I'm saying thank you. Suede Slouch, thank you for the 20. Tom, thank you for the 9. For the 10, excuse me. TNCM, thank you for the 571. 9 of 9 with the $5 super chat. Divvy, thank you for the 267. Cotillion, thank you for the 394. Hook and Canman, excuse me. Hook and Canman, thank you for the 5. Thank you guys for the support. Sarah Black, thank you for the 20. Corollianus Long, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome in, folks. Welcome in. Let's go back to the map and see if we have any more updates here. Okay. So there are reports that U.S. government is transporting high-level government officials, military commanders, and the first family to safety in bunkers. Okay. I'm going to pull up a second screen here. Started just before the news of the attack. Josh, do we have those videos posted in the Discord yet? Too easy. Got it. So we've got a couple videos here that just went live on the app and on the website, funker530.com. And if you don't have the app, type the command !app. The first one here is traffic in Kiev beginning to kind of go crazy. So I'm going to pull that up here. And we're going to pull it up right on the website so you guys can see the website if you're not familiar with it. Got it. The local time right now in Kiev is what was that? 0640? 0620? 0628. Ukrainian civilians rushing to the gas stations in Kharkiv. So mad rush to obtain some gas. I want to check in on Twitter while that gets set up first, though. Gas stations just becoming packed. There is a comment system that you guys can engage with the rest of the community in there as well. Okay? All right. Thanks for those guys. Poor man with the job, thank you for the $4.99. Calico Jack, thanks for becoming a member. Jess Esquivel, thank you for the $20 super chat. Steel Penny, thanks for becoming a member. John Anderson, thank you for becoming a member. Got it, pulling that up. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull up some Reddit reports here that you guys are also able to follow along with. Ukraine War video report on Reddit. The thing to keep in mind is we are not able to validate or verify any of this stuff as it's coming out, but our team is behind the scenes taking a look at all of it. So this gunfire between Russian and Ukrainian forces. Seeing some tracers here, but nothing else really to make out. Willie is live now again. Is he live on YouTube? First photo of the Russian invasion. We showed this earlier. This is at the border. We found this earlier on. This is at the border. of Russia and Ukraine. Really unknown who that is at the moment. Still seeing traffic generally moving in both Kiev and Odessa. For those that aren't familiar with where Odessa is, there were reports earlier of some explosions near Odessa. That's on the southwestern, or I should just say southern coast of Ukraine, right here. One thing that we do know is that over the last couple of weeks, there's been an intelligence soak, an intelligence collection boat or vessel for anybody that's Navy. I'm sorry if I called it a boat and it's a ship. Whatever. There has been an intelligence collection vessel doing a soak of intelligence here. We did have a Russian fleet that had made its way through the Med and up into the area here. So there were reports of, some activity happening in Odessa. We've been monitoring some of the live feeds out of there, but haven't seen anything just yet. Haven't seen anything on the live feeds. I think the one live feed that we have seen some activity on is the Kiev live feed. Let's go full screen on that and see if we can see anything. A lot of traffic still moving. According to Al Jazeera, President Putin says the military operation in Donbas region aims to protect the people. What's interesting about that is we're seeing activity and reports of activity outside of just Donbas, though. Right? Outside of Donbas. Let's pull this. This is the Odessa feed. And is supposedly the Odessa port. Let's see if I can pull up a few other Odessa feeds here. So this is the Odessa coast. Not a whole lot of activity on either of those at the moment. Brad S., thanks for becoming a member. Bob, thank you for the $20 super chat. Kay Dickerson, thanks for becoming a member. This guy's strolling around. Let's get a refresh on our map here. Check. Head back to the map. Let's check in on some of these other reports down on the map here. We'll focus in on the east. Okay, can we just keep diving in on that one before I bring that one up? Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. All right, so we've got reports of a... do we have where this is, guys? This looks a lot like Willie Pete to me. To us. Now, this is supposedly near a Ukrainian outpost of some kind. Working to get a little bit of... So supposedly this is a weapons cache. So it's almost definitively white phosphorus, more than likely, but it's really unknown whether or not that was white phosphorus that was in the weapons cache or if it was white phosphorus that was used against it, right? Again, you guys are getting this stuff just as rapidly as I am. We're going through it live with you here. Take everything with a grain of salt. This is all breaking, coming right out of Ukraine. Let's watch that again. Okay. And again, if you guys are just chiming in with us, we are Funker530. We have our own app, our own website that breaks us away from social media. We go live on social media to help direct you to that app so that you know that you can always go somewhere and find this footage without having to worry about a Facebook or a YouTube or an Instagram, controlling what you see. All right. Our app was developed in-house for this specific type of scenario. So as you guys are catching this stuff with me on the live stream, the writers, our journalists behind the scenes are actively investigating this stuff to the extent that they can. We are a small team of veterans, USA and allied nation veterans. Every single one of us are. They are investigating this stuff behind the scenes to try and provide as much context as possible. There are comment sections over there. We have an analysis section that you can dive down into and read about what we have found. But the most important piece, and I can't reiterate this enough, is there's going to be a lot of stuff that we are unable to validate. A lot of stuff that we are unable to validate. Now, we do everything that we can to avoid leveraging mainstream media for any of our content. All right? I'm going to put my hat back on because my hair is all crazy. I got Johnny Bravo hair. All right? Let's jump back in to some more of the map. Strikes targeting Myrhorod airfield. Don't really know how to pronounce that. Myhorod. Nice pitch. It's less of a pitch. It's less of a pitch than it is just making sure you guys understand where finished analysis of this is going to go to. All right. That's an insult to Johnny Bravo. He does look better than mine. His does look better than mine. Let's keep refreshing our map feed here. Map's going down. Every other minute the map's going down. Let's pull out to a full view here. I'm going to go back through some of the footage that we've shown so far. Goodness. I'm going to go back. Go ahead. Okay, so we're getting reports of a few different things. We're getting reports of Spetsnaz, take that for what it's worth, at Kiev airport. We're getting reports of troops moving in from Belarus. And an amphibious assault at Mariupol. So Mariupol is in the southeast here. Right? So let's see if we can find any live feeds of Mariupol. So there were earlier reports of explosions near Mariupol. Don't know whether or not those might have been preemptive for an amphibious assault of some kind. But we did also get reports of the explosions that we saw in Kiev as being some form of a preemptive strike ahead of an assault on the airport. But what we don't see right now is a whole lot of activity on the Kiev feed. So I'm going to try to see if we can't find some more Kiev feeds as well. Yep, tracking. Good to go. What's the website? Our website is funker530.com. You can be running the command !app. Okay. check into some things here. Here is those explosions that we heard earlier that we showed you from in or around Mariupol. Let's go full screen with this. And we showed you guys that earlier. If you're just now joining us, earlier this evening at around 10 o'clock Eastern Standard, President Vladimir Putin of Russia announced a special military operation specifically in the east, but we're seeing activity throughout Ukraine right now to pacify, quote unquote, and denazify Ukraine. So the fears of invasion have moved forward, and it has started. It has started. I'm going to go back to some of our other Ukraine webcams here. Let's check this one. No activity there. Trying to find, I'm going to pull up the Odessa live feed in the meantime, while I search for a few more live feeds to take a look at. Not much happening on a lot of this. Let's check in on the Odessa Square here. Something that I do find interesting is on a lot of these live feeds, you know, we're seeing traffic continuing to move, right? Not a lot of congestion outside of gas stations. We did see a whole lot of congestion at gas stations, people rushing to the pumps. We've got footage of that on our app and on the website. And this is 10th April Square in Odessa, near the coast. Okay. We'll pull up the Kiev live feed for you. So the guys are in my ear raising something that is, you know, definitely a possibility that some of these live feeds could potentially have been replaced with other feeds. That is a capability that would be available to a state actor. Absolutely, let's do it. Would I be able to pull up any video for him? Got it. So we're gonna be pulled in with Willie Beating Cancer. Willie Beating Cancer is, and we're only going to have audio from Willie. He is on ground in Ukraine right now, and we do have a relationship with him. He's been feeding us a lot of information, and I'm going to make sure that you guys are able to hear that. And you know, once we're able to get pulled in there. In the meantime, I'll keep the other feeds up for us. And if you're not familiar with Willie, with Willie, Willie.beating_cancer on YouTube. I'm sure we can get a mod to drop a link for him in the chat. Love you, brother. Keep this going, baby. We're just doing our best to bring you as much information as we can, okay? As much information as we can. It's very early in Ukraine right now. It's about 7 a.m. So a lot of the city has probably been awake for some time now. But, you know, we're gonna have a chance here in a moment to talk with someone that's on ground, a good friend of ours. I'm going to give you guys back the live feeds while we set that call up.
Hey guys.
Willie, are you able to hear me, brother?
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can. Hey, my man. First and foremost, thanks for taking some time to talk with us.
Yeah, you're right. I need to keep it somewhat quick. Just things are escalating very quick. But
absolutely, absolutely.
Do you want video? Or just fucking.
If you're able to give us video, I'll take it from you. I'll take it from you.
I mean, do you want me to turn the front camera up?
That's up to you. That's up to you. If you're able to give us video, I will. Like I said, I'll take it.
Yeah, it might be a little bit dark, but I think is that fucking working for you?
That's beautiful, Willie. I'm gonna give you to the people here. Here we go.
Yeah.
This is Willie. Willie, can you introduce yourself really quick? Give people a rundown of who you are, and then just go ahead and let us know what's happening. We want to hear what's happening on ground right now.
Yes, Sick. You guys ready right now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're live. You're live with us on Funker 530's YouTube.
Oh, fuck. That sounds like I'm fucking famous now. Hey, dude. Everyone calls me Willie. an ex-corporal out of the Australian infantry. I'm here in Kramatorsk, which is far eastern Ukraine. Woke up at I'm with my mate Bryce Wilson at Bryce Wilson AU. I'm at Willie Beating Cancer on Instagram and pretty much everywhere. Anyway, woke up at about 4:30 to like a rolling thunder sound, the old sound of Artie. And sorry, I'm sucking air. We had to do a bit of a fucking quick hike to a better location at least. Bryce calls me and I text him. I'm like, hey, bro, I think if you're hearing what I'm hearing, this is going down. Anyway, yeah, fucking look out the window and there's just Artie landing. We decided to move to a different location, which we're at currently. And on the way, we're humping it down, man. People are pretty bloody calm on the streets, but there are more and more people pulling cash and evacuating. We had seen plenty of incoming rounds. Anyone that was on my live stream on Instagram would have seen one of those fucking Gucci-ass Russian missiles, like the hypersonic ones with like little fucking wing dickies out the side. That came straight over the top of us and impacted into a mushroom cloud. I don't know, only hundreds of meters, maybe under a kilometre in front of us. We suspect into the airfield. If they're here, then yeah, the front lines are only 40 k's from here, and we're copping rounds here. We're hearing fighter jets coming over the top and dropping fucking weapons. We are unsure of whose fucking ones they are. I don't have body armor. I'm just fucking rocking with the beard protection. Thank fuck Bryce has it. And we'll fucking see from there. I'm trying to video both on live and with my fucking camera gear, but we'll see how we go. So yeah, is there any questions? Anything you want to know?
So we're hearing reports that this isn't specific to the east, though, right? Can you give us a better understanding of? And I know you probably mentioned it, but just to focus on where you are, which obviously is seeing some activity.
Yeah, so I'm in Kramatorsk, which is basically the city before, the large city before Donetsk, Donbass, Luhansk area. Were occupied, now independent states. So we're about 40 to 50 kilometres, 25 miles. Before that, people were staged here, journalists and dickheads like me, just random vloggers, were staged here to then move into those Donbass sort of regions to film. So, there's a couple of hotels here with some Western journos and shit. But as far as fucking everywhere is getting hit currently at the moment, I have a lot of friends in the city of Kharkiv, which is about 2 million people. That is about 20 k's from the Russian border, but a bit further north from where I am.
North, right.
And I've who are they're just civilian mates looking out their windows and seeing fucking shelling pop in all the time. Now I am a good 400 or 500 kilometers further east than the capital of Kiev, if not further, and Kiev capital is 100% experiencing explosions. I'm not sure on what degree, but yeah, pretty fucking wild.
So we have reports of ground incursions in the Odessa area and Mariupol in the south. We also have reports, unconfirmed, of course, because we're so far separated, of Russian paratroopers in Kiev, specifically near the airports. What's the next step? Obviously, withholding, as much as possible, please and thank you. What's the next step for you? Where are you? What are we doing? An hour from now?
Look, I don't want to speak too much on locations or movements. We've moved directly out of anything that was booked under names or tracked. We've moved out, but look, at this point, we need to make some crucial decisions on where we go, what we do. Yeah, no, we're making decisions and doing what we can. But we will see how it looks. I mean, there are people here just going to fucking work as usual, bro. My friend speaks Russian, and he's speaking to people going, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to work." There's buses driving around. There's, and it's sort of a 50-50 split. There's half of us like us running around going, Jesus Christ, and the other half being like, we've done this before. We know how this goes. So I'll try and keep you updated. As far as the forces in Mariupol and Odessa, I can't confirm because I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but from all intents and purposes of what we've heard and seen through networks, those reports are fairly true.
Okay. Well, Willie, I know you had to be brief. Is there anything that you'd like folks to know, about you specifically, about, your mission? They've got the links to your channel. They'll be headed over. I just want to make sure that we're giving you that opportunity to just say hello and kind of introduce yourself as well.
Really appreciate it. No, I'm Willie. I was medically separated from the Defence Force due to a brain cancer that is ongoing terminal illness, and I want to get, I miss sort of that military lifestyle, so I'm trying to get into this like conflict media journalism game. So I thought Ukraine was the place to be. Where to follow me is at Willie Beating Cancer, Willie beating cancer on Instagram and YouTube. And the gentleman I'm with, who's a professional photojournalist and who's worked here for years, is at Bryce Wilson AU on Twitter and Instagram. We'll be updating as much as we can as while there's phone lines open and we can do stuff like this. But we will see. But otherwise, we'll see on the other side, I guess.
Yes, sir. So, Willie, I don't want to keep you for too long. All I can do is ask that you do your best to stay safe, stay out of as much harm's way as possible, and we'll be looking forward to checking in regularly on the updates that you're providing. I've been following along with all the not only the live streams but the videos that you've been putting up, and it's helped me stay up to date really well. And I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
Nah, thank you, legends. I really appreciate it and hope you guys all stay safe. And I'm not a religious dude, but send a fucking thought and prayer to the gentlemen on the front line at Ukraine and the Ukrainians who, at the end of the day, I can fucking pack up, hump it out and leave. These lovely fucking people here, 40 million of them can't leave. So, yeah, keep them in your thoughts, dudes.
We absolutely will. Again, Willie, thanks for being here. Be safe, cover your ass and, get home when you can. All right.
Easy, dudes. Okay, thank you, guys.
Yes,
thanks.
sir.
See you soon.
Out of here. That was Willie beating cancer. If you guys are unfamiliar with Willie, Willie is on ground in Ukraine right now. I want to say he's only a few dozen miles away from the Donbass region, but he is also hearing and seeing of the same activity that we're seeing unconfirmed reports of. Specific to Kiev, hearing about reports that there is activity happening in Mariupol and Odessa in the south. There is a lot of activity that's happening, not just in the east. Putin's specific statements earlier were that this operation was going to be targeting eastern Ukraine, but we have pushed beyond that with activity all the way into the middle near Kiev. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back the live feeds again. I'm going to jump back in with the rest of the Funker Boys, and we'll be carrying forward. So this is Kiev, and something that he noted that I thought was really interesting, guys, is he stated that there are some people that are just returning to work as though nothing is happening right now. It's about that 50-50 split of some that are in, some level of a panic, some that are, really business as usual. On this specific live feed earlier, we had massive explosions in the backdrop here, right? And that video and footage is available to you on our app. Make sure you have downloaded the app. use the command !app to ensure that you're able to stay as up to date as you can. We are showing the footage as we get it. It's coming to us within minutes of it coming up here on the live feed. But that analysis, the context is going to go into that, and regularly we're going to be pushing out updates. Regularly pushing out updates. Go ahead. Okay, Sky News is reporting that the Ukrainian president, Lukashenko, has introduced martial law. So we've got some footage of an Su-25 attack here that I'm going to pull up. Again, unconfirmed. We did see footage earlier of a Ukrainian drone being shot down, presumably, of course, by Russian manpad. That footage is also available on the app for you to watch. Something that we haven't seen a whole lot of is ground forces footage, right? Now, there is a likely reason for that in the age of technology that we have now. Russia's capability to conduct information warfare and information operations, which would include, theoretically, electronic warfare, is very adept. So it's very likely that we're seeing EW soak on any ground operation that would prohibit uploads to Twitter, etc. As time goes along, it is very likely that we'll start to see some of that ground footage. The best that we have right now is going to be from municipalities, from large cities, large regions, where that EW soak either hasn't made its way there yet, or where there is enough infrastructure to carry the networks forward, right? We're going to pull up a few more of our feeds just to check in across. I also want to do an update on checking in on Twitter, as well as take a look at our map. This is from CNN. We'll come back to that. Another video of a cruise missile in Ukraine here.
Oh, fuck. That's a missile. That's a missile. That's a fucking missile. That was one of those, like, holy
That's
shit.
Willie.
Russia has declared
That's
war
Willie.
on Ukraine. As soon as the declaration...
No, Willie's in there as well.
Oh, fuck. That's a missile. That's a missile. That's a fucking missile.
So that is Willie that you're looking at right there, and
Russia has declared
Bryce
war on
is
Ukraine.
filming
As soon as the
right now.
declaration... Oh, fuck. That's a missile. That's a missile. That's a fucking
So
missile.
we just got done speaking with Willie. If you guys want to take a look at that, that was done live here. It was just a couple minutes ago. Feel free to rewind the stream. Make sure you click the live button to come back to the live stream as well. Once again, I'd be super interested to understand from a cardinal direction perspective which direction those are flying. Let's check back in on the interactive map if it's still wanting to work. This was an hour ago. So the map is updating a little bit slower than it was earlier. And again, as time goes along, I'm expecting to be able to find and see much more of that on-ground type footage. But we've seen reports. If Putin said that his activity was going to be specific to Donbass in this eastern Ukraine region, we've got reports in the north right now, near Kharkiv. We've got reports of activity in Ukraine over here. We've got reports of activity in Odessa in the south. But again, not a lot of these reports can be validated until we start to see some of that on-ground footage. The local time in Donetsk is 0717. 0801, excuse me, 0801. Just checking in on chat here. I also want to catch up on some of the support that's been flooding in, and we appreciate that, guys, so much. I'm gonna go full camera here for a moment. Blake, thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that. Blood Arena, thank you for the 477. PTSD, thank you for the $2 and the $2 right before that. Brody, thank you for the 20. Blaster Mike, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Funkers. Appreciate that. Thank you for all the subs, folks. Blood Arena, thank you for the $3 as well. Just scrolling through. I'm gonna filter out subs here. Those are kind of coming in pretty quickly. Let's see. Ebros, thank you for the 5 and the 5 before that. Redacted, thank you for the 5. Twisted Joystick, thank you for the 2. Gabe, thank you for the 10. Tyrannagon, thank you for the 5. Black Halo, thank you for the 5. Lord Sesamaru, thank you for becoming a member. Lady Life, thank you for becoming a member. Disenfranchised, thank you for the $2 super chat. Thank you guys for all of the support. We are a small team. If you're not familiar with Funker 530, we're a small team of veterans, U.S. and allied nation veterans, whose sole goal and purpose is to showcase and provide insight into what combat footage looks like. So if you were to download our application, if you were to go to our website, you'll find everything from JDAM strikes to close quarters combat footage of, special operations forces. You're also going to find things like use of force footage. If you're ever interested in what a use of a force on force encounter might look like, we are where you can come and better understand that. It is our first and foremost our mission to ensure that combat is understood by the masses. Right? It is romanticized so much in the news, in media, and by Hollywood that the reality of it is missed. So what we're doing right here is you guys are seeing a little bit of the behind the scenes of us trying to evaluate this combat footage, understand it, provide context, bring you the context and those missing pieces of where is this, why does it matter? That's what you're seeing. Right, we're giving you a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look here because this stuff is coming so fast. Some of that analysis and validation is occurring once we get it up onto the website. You're just seeing it earlier here. Okay. Let's check in on chat a little bit here. Fake news. Nope, wouldn't say it. Ukraine and Russia. Do you think that NATO must intervene in the situation between Ukraine and Russia? To an extent, NATO is already intervening. It just depends on whether or not you mean militarily. And I will be paying very close attention to the next 12 to 24 hours. As we did earlier watch the United Nations Security Council meeting, a lot of pleading to President Putin for him to pull his troops back. Again, the situation on ground in Ukraine, the best compass that we have for that was speaking to Willie. Cruise missiles are flying, bombs are impacting, gunfire is erupting. The situation in Ukraine is going to continue to rapidly escalate over the next few hours, and I'm going to do my best to stay here with you as long as I can. There will be lulls in the stream where we're just hanging out and discussing as a chat. It's in those times that I will do my best to engage. Chat's moving pretty quickly, but I'll do my best to engage with you. I do appreciate you guys being here, hanging out with us. Hit the sub, hit the like, all of that shill. All right, let's go back to the map, and let's go back to some of the feeds. Yes, sir. So we have a quote from the Minister of Foreign Affairs for Ukraine. Putin has just launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Peaceful Ukrainian cities are under strikes. This is a war of aggression. Ukraine will defend itself and will win. The world can and must stop Putin. The time to act is now. I'll read that again. And this is from the Minister of Foreign Affairs from Ukraine on Twitter. Putin has just launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Peaceful Ukrainian cities are under strikes. This is a war of aggression. Ukraine will defend itself and will win. The world can and must stop Putin. Russian Marines, we also have reports of Russian Marines supposedly landing somewhere near Odessa. I've got feeds of Odessa. We're not able to capture that right now in the quote-unquote live feeds. Something to remember, though, is these are still housed on the internet and can still be toiled with, right? These are not government websites at all. These are open source live feeds that we're just pulling up, hoping to find, some, level of activity that we can monitor and better understand. So let's go to, got it. So we're going to pull up an Odessa feed here. And I'm going to try to find some other Odessa live footage that we could take a look at. This is supposedly the port in Odessa. The port seems like it would theoretically be kind of a hotbed for activity. Keeping this going, though, is going to be something that I'm gonna have up for quite a while. But while I'm looking, I'll let you guys know if I come across something with any real pertinence. Got another feed of a beach here. There's nothing really to show there. I'll show you that one, though. This is also in Odessa. Nothing coming out of that feed. While you guys are here, and if you haven't done so, please make sure that you are downloading that app. Please make sure you are downloading that app. And thank you very much for all of the support, all the new members. Welcome to the Funkers, folks. Ryan, thank you for the $20. Jory, thank you for the $2. Funker, check out Snapchat map. Oh, yeah, that was a good one. I had that up earlier, but I was having an issue keeping it updated. It kept kind of crashing on me, but we'll try to get that back up. We'll try to get that back up here. All right, we've got Snapchat map up here. Once again, not a lot of heavy concentration. Of course, there's lots of stuff in Kiev. Got it. I'm going to pull up another feed here as well. And we're going to leave this one as kind of our backdrop, if you will. So we've got Kiev, Kharkiv, Odessa, and another Kiev feed. Yep, well, tracking that one. We showed that one a little bit earlier, brother. And you guys are going to hear me communicating with our Funker team behind the scenes a little bit as well. You won't be able to hear them, but they are in my ear. Feel like a fully fledged news anchor right now. Kind of ridiculous. I'm gonna pull up the Snapchat live map on my other screen over here as well. Pull that one. So I'll be diving in on the Facebook, or excuse me, on the Snapchat map here, and seeing if I can find anything of value or of pertinence. 36 minutes ago from Kiev, 50 minutes ago. Okay. Let's try and move in on maybe Kharkiv. See what's happening in and around Kharkiv here. Not a whole lot. Let's check Far East. And we've been talking about this a little bit throughout the night. Something to be mindful of is some information is going to take quite a while to come out of Ukraine. And that's going to be likely because where activity is hottest, a standard TTP is going to be to do an EW soak of that area, right? That's going to mean that communications are going to go offline in the hottest of the areas. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that a lot of these live feeds that we're looking at aren't really housed on the most secure websites. So from a cyber perspective, the question to ask yourself is whether or not the live feeds have been replaced, whether or not we are looking at, here on this feed, some general misinformation in and of its own. Got some heat map here in... That's not helpful. There was a slight heat piece in one of the eastern cities in Ukraine, but it was really just someone doing a duck face. I can show that to you if you'd like to see it. Here you go. Riveting. Just riveting. Continuing to hunt around for different feeds for us to look at here. It's been getting bright gradually. It has. It has. Got it. We've got another piece of footage coming out here of something. We're not really sure what it is. It could be aircraft. It could be cruise missile. You have to look closely. There it is there. Chad, what do you guys think that... What do you guys think about that? I'm thinking cruise missile, personally. It's real slight. Let's see if I can catch it. That's it. That's all we've got. And we did see Willie's video of the cruise missile flying over. Definitely missile. You're watching fake streams. Okay. What leads you to believe these are fake? We have talked about that possibility a little bit as well. But they're the best that we have at the moment, and we're regularly trying to find more up-to-date information to share. Can you put that in the chat? We've got some imagery coming out of Kharkiv right now. Show you guys that. And again, we can go back to the map and I can show you in where Kharkiv is. I would say it's probably best described as northeastern Ukraine. We're going to peel this feed back and go back to some of these other ones here. This is the feed that we did see explosions on earlier this evening. Those have also made their way over to the app. Let's pull up the map here so you can see Kharkiv, and we'll talk a little bit about where we've gotten reports, and I'll do kind of a summary really quick for you. So in President Putin's announcement, what he ultimately said was that he had authorized a special operation in eastern Ukraine. With that said, we have reports and video that have supposedly shown activity in Mariupol, which is still in the east, Kharkiv, which is northeast here, right? Just showing you where that is on the map. But we also have reports of activity in and around the airport of Kiev, and we have seen explosions in the Kiev feed that we have pulled up in that upper right quadrant when I bring that back over. I'm going to slide to the other side of the screen here really quick and show you the specific feed I'm talking about. This one. So the explosions that we saw took place here, and I can show you guys that footage once again. Just got to roll up here far enough to bring it back out for you. I'm tracking. I'll get there. Here we go. Just want to pull this for you guys. So watch closely in the back here. This is Kiev. This is that same feed. This is Kiev. Okay. So upper right here is Kiev. Bottom right is Odessa. I'm keeping Odessa up right now because we have a lot of reports of activity that's happening on the southern coast, and I don't have any feeds for Mariupol. The best that I have is Kiev. I'm also hoping to find a few feeds from in or near Crimea, where we have reports of convoys pushing across from Crimea into southern Ukraine there. But what I want to do really quickly is go through some of this support that we're receiving. We are a small team, so all of your support that you guys are sending over is very much appreciated. Jory for the 2. The German, thank you for the 2. Blaster Mike for the 5 again. William, thank you for the 9. $59.98 for $2. Jaipex, thank you for the $5. Tyrannagon, thank you again for the 10. Nayef, thank you for the $5. Mike Redding, thank you for the 20. Lopaka79, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Funkers. Ryan, thank you for the 20. Verso Armament Company, thank you for the $100 super chat. Thank you for that very much. That is big time help for us. We are a small team, and if you're not familiar with us, just head over to our website. We are a small team of veterans that really only focus on combat footage, use of force footage, to help people understand what conflict looks like. Our team is entirely run, our website and our app is entirely run by veterans. Okay? So I appreciate you guys, being here, helping us. We're going to be live for a little while longer. I don't know if I'll be able to carry you all night. But what we may do is, just be here as long as we can and come back sometime tomorrow with some updates and what we have on the ground. Flight just popped up. No heading in North Ukraine. Boys, does one of you have that link for the flight map that we shared earlier? Actually, I can pull it up here. Okay. Let's check the flight radar here for the Ukraine area. A lot of flights leaving Moldova or passing to and from Moldova. I'm not seeing any flight activity in or around Ukraine at the moment. According to Al Jazeera, the Kiev airport is now closed and they have evacuated it. Again, we did have reports earlier of Russian paratroopers being on the ground. We also heard reports of Spetsnaz being on the ground in Kiev airport. We cannot confirm those reports whatsoever, but we did see explosions happening near Kiev in that feed that we just took a look at. So something of note and of pertinence is look at the standoff of flights, even in Russia, right? So you've got the Ukrainian border here. Come on, come back to me. Give me some of those flights back. You got the Ukrainian border here. Look at the standoff of flights around that eastern, northern, southeastern border. Now, Georgia's situation is also something that I want to keep an eye on. What we really have here, something that's pertinent for us to discuss. what we really have here is almost a copycat of Russia's invasion of Georgia, right? The pretext for this was very, very, very similar. Now, South Ossetia, and Abkhazia were breakaway states in Georgia that Russia claimed, not unlike Donetsk and Luhansk in the Ukraine. So we saw a very similar pretext to invasion in 2008 with Georgia, and we recently did a Funker News Network episode on this. You can check that playlist out here on our YouTube. We saw a very similar pretext happen in 2008, once again, right around the Olympics. It is uncanny how similar these two invasions are to each other, for lack of a better term there. Let's check back in on the crew here and see if we have some more data or information. Let's pull the Kiev live stream back up. Okay, so we have some footage to show you guys here that I haven't shown you yet. And at first, the reports were saying that these are cluster munitions, but they are not. It has been confirmed to be just a massive amount of grad strikes. I'll play that for you guys again. And this is, do we have a location on this? In Kharkiv. Okay. Now this is Kharkiv, which I showed you guys earlier is northeastern Ukraine. It's obviously sometime earlier in the night because we are looking at morning time in Ukraine right now. What the time there is probably somewhere around 8:30, 8:45, something like that, a.m. Okay. Something of pertinence that the writers and journalists that we have as members of our team are reporting is quite a bit of a slowdown of footage that we're getting coming out of the region. There were concerns early on, and I've spoken to them a little bit as well, about general shutdown of network and infrastructure, right? These are, kind of 101 playbook things for any kind of modern campaign or assault. You're going to want to take the ability to communicate out of Ukraine if you're Russia. So, like I said, there's gonna be some time before we really see that real boot on ground type of footage from your GoPro cameras, your handheld cameras, etc. As these hotbeds, as Russia is targeting these hotbed locations, their electronic warfare capability is advanced. They are capable. Just reviewing some other footage over here. We've got some odd footage that the guys are working on right now, showing what looks like. I'm gonna show you guys, and I'll let you guys tell me what you think you see here. So look very closely up here in the sky. This is over the skies of Ukraine right now. To my eyes, I see potential shoots of some kind. I'm not sure. I'm not sure here. What do you guys think this is? Now, this is once again over Kharkiv. There could be the potential for flak. Someone said fireworks. I mean, if it's flak, it's a whole nother level of fireworks. Al Jazeera is currently reporting that Russia stated that it targeted airports, Ukrainian air bases. The activity is just spreading across Ukraine right now. But again, this is just astounding to see the standoff to the east of flights right now. Let's go back to Kiev. Belarus now involved in border attacks. Okay. Yeah, we did hear reports of that earlier. They were unconfirmed. Like I mentioned earlier, guys, the footage is kind of starting to slow down a little bit coming out of Ukraine. We are still seeing a bit come out, and I do anticipate that as the day goes on and even the minutes go by, ebbs and flows of footage that'll come out. Munstech here. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay. All right. So this is got it. Let's just kind of layer it in the chat if we can to keep me going. So supposedly this is cruise missile inspection. Do we have a location for this, guys? In Kiev. So they are looking at the wreckage of a cruise missile in Kiev here.
И это все у нас возле работы, пацаны. А вот с нее движочек, походу.
So we've got one pertinent here that speaks specifically to Belarus joining Russian troops in attacking Ukraine. Some more footage of airports on fire. And as I'm showing you guys this footage, it is making its way onto our app and onto our website. Please make sure you are swinging by the app. If you don't have the app downloaded, run the command !app. That's gonna give you a direct link that you can go to the App Store. It's on iOS and on Google Play. You're able to download that, set up an account, because our content is 18 plus. You do have to set up an account on our app so that we can show you that content. That's a requirement of the App Store, not ours. Use whatever email you want to for it. Download the app, get in there, join the community in the comments. You're going to get this stuff throughout this conflict. I'm not obviously going to be able to be live for the entirety of this conflict. We will be going live as much as possible over the course, especially over the course of the next 24, 48, etc. But when you're not here on the live stream to catch this stuff live, when we find it, turn those notifications on, download the app. You'll find all of it there. I am going to take a momentary break. I have to potty. And I said potty because I have kids and I'm allowed to say that. All right? So what I'm going to do, I'm sorry, go ahead. The live feed is up. I'm gonna leave the Kiev feed up. What I'm gonna do is leave you with the Kiev feed. I'm gonna kill my camera and I'll be back momentarily. All right. Chat amongst yourselves. right, welcome back. Welcome back. Let me put in my ears so I can hear the boys yelling at me to not forget to bring up the next piece of footage. We did look at the cruise missile guys, and we did see the Kherson airport on fire, but I'm going to pull that one up again. This is an international airport that's on fire right now. Again, this is the Kherson airport. That is just a huge plume of smoke coming out of it at the moment. Let's pull up the flight radar here. I don't think we're going to be getting much out of this. You know, there just aren't going to be many flights in or around a targetable region of Ukraine. Flights are supposedly shut down. Now, you're obviously going to have, you're still going to have military activity, military flights, but a lot of those aren't going to be reflected here from an operational perspective. You know, that's going to be OPSEC stuff that they're not going to include. But again, I still want to point out this standoff in a targetable range around Ukraine. Ukraine does have an anti-air capability. It is a lot of it is funded by the West, but they have continued to press the anti-air capability. We saw some anti-air footage earlier, but we were able to identify that it was Ukrainian drones being shot down by Russian manpads. I can pull that footage back up here in a little bit to take a look at. Got it? We're going to check in on Willie Beaten Cancer, whom we just spoke to earlier, who's live right now out of Ukraine.
Ready to rock and roll. I know the sort of gut feeling that I've got around here, a little bit of nerves, a little bit of anxiety, a bit of excitement. But fucking, mate, imagine being one of these fucking soldiers. Fuck, man, that's hard. It's one of the biggest superpowers in the world, and a superpower prepared. Anyone else on the ground in Ukraine who, is posting photos over, please, if you listen to this, don't post anything of locations of troops or anything, because the Ukrainian government has specifically asked not to. This is the place I had pizza yesterday. We've been having dinner here and it's fucking so good, man. Like, if I didn't have the shoulders of a fucking brown snake, this would be a lot easier. Oh. Right. Here's the Western media, all racked up.
Guys, jump in there in the chat. I'm going to give you a quick link.
I might pub smoke here, my guys.
Let him know you're there from Funker.
Thank you so much, all 1,600 of you beautiful human beings looking after yourself, staying safe. Feel free to share whatever I have. Just, tag me or whatever. But yeah, make sure you look after yourselves. Have a lovely day. And I'll keep you updated as we rock and roll. All right, I see you guys.
All right, that was Willie Beating Cancer. And if you weren't here for our live discussion with Willie a little bit earlier, you could scroll back in the video by, I want to say, about an hour or so, maybe a little bit less than that. We had a chance to speak with him live, check in with him. We have been communicating with Willie now over the course of the past couple weeks. We have a lot of his footage deployed on the website as well. And, great guy, former Aussie corporal. He is on ground really only about 50 miles or so from Donbass. So he is danger close. And thank you very much. My beautiful wife brought me some coffee so that I can keep going with you guys. All right. Let's check back in on some of our other feeds here. I'm I'm going to pull up some of our Donbass, or excuse me, maybe our Odessa feed, and we'll check back in on our map. Give the map a refresh here. Sirens in Kiev. Let's check that out. Okay. So those are sirens in Kiev. That was posted just about 20 minutes ago. Just about 20 minutes ago. We've got reports of airport restrictions here. We're seeing reports and confirmation now that Belarusian troops are crossing the border with Russians from the north now. Again, there's nearly a full envelopment. The only area theoretically is the west, but early on, over the last couple of weeks, there were also reports of potential Russian activity in Moldova, and more specifically, Transnistria here, this slim strip of land. This slim strip of land here that is technically a self-declared region that I'm not as up to date on it as I was a few weeks ago when I researched it, of Moldova. We had reports of activity in Odessa. I'll take you back to those. Those were about 3 hours ago. Some explosions were reported there. We have reports of activity crossing the border from Crimea into southern Ukraine. There were reports only a couple hours ago along that southeastern coastline. Mariupol, we did confirm with Willie that there's a lot of activity, a lot of explosions, bombs dropping on Mariupol. This is one of those videos here. Let's see if we can get that pulled back up. Mariupol being right on the coast. Just a lot of activity all around Ukraine right now, and we lost our feed for our live map. Let's see if I can't get that back up for us here. Almost had it. Almost had it. Missed it by that much. Got it. So we're seeing nearly any international airport in Ukraine right now. We're starting to find footage of them on fire, just getting hit.
Це аеродром, походу. Це не аеродром, аеродром там. У нас тут пиздец.
So this airport is Lutsk, and it's an international airport. We did see reports that they were targeting air capabilities, but we've seen so much footage of airports being targeted right now. It's all over Ukraine. It is not focused specifically on the east. This invasion has started and has started strong. Got it. And just to correct myself, that was an airstrike in Lutsk. In Lutsk, excuse me. This is the airport on fire. Okay. Thank you, Will. Or Josh, sorry. Just so you're tracking generally where that is, Lutsk is almost to Poland, right? That's here. This is Poland. So this is Poland, and this is Lutsk. So this activity is spreading very far to the west, and a lot of the base of this activity, as we're seeing in reports now, is that northern Belarusian border. Russian bots have entered the chat. They've been in here all night. That's okay. Bot on. Don't let them bother you. But that just kind of shows the initial statement from Putin said very specifically, this will be Eastern, right? I've ordered this special military operation in Eastern Ukraine. Well, that's about as far west as you can get, right? That is very far west. A lot of the SIGACs that you guys are looking at on this, each of these icons, this is over the period of the last couple days. It's not all happening just today, right? This is a new source for me, not one that I'm used to using, but we are really here gathering this information live with you, trying to now, folks. I think we're coming back up now. Something that's interesting, and doesn't happen often here on the East Coast, is my entire home network went out for a few minutes there. But we're back. We're here. Hello. That was scary for a minute or two, but we got it. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're back. We're in there. All right, let's go back through some of this activity on Twitter here. This is some more footage of air raid sirens in Kiev. And we've got a Kiev feed up here in the upper right quadrant and a Odessa feed in the lower right quadrant there. Oh, and I'm just now realizing earlier I misspoke and said Lukashenko for Ukraine's president, and it's Zelensky. Excuse me. That was way earlier, and I don't know why that popped into my head right there. This was footage that was captured by our good friends Bruce and Willie of a cruise missile flying overhead.
Holy shit! Russia has declared war.
Bryce,
on
excuse me,
Ukraine.
not Bruce.
As
Bryce.
soon as the declaration. Oh fuck! That's a missile! That's a missile! That's a fucking missile! That was one of those like. Holy shit!
There's a flight out of Kiev on radar? I don't believe you. Let's pull up the flight radar here. How far did it fall? Okay. Down to 5. Got it. Okay. We do have a flight coming out of Kiev. Let's take a look at this. It's moving at 97 knots. Somebody's making a break for it. So something moving at that kind of slow of a ground speed, that's a small aircraft there. I'm not a flight guy. It just seems kind of slow. Matt A, thank you for the $2. Russia tried to take us offline, but we're still here, so we made it back. Nilo is offline. Well, apparently you're online, and you sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that very much. Let's pull up the Kiev live stream again. Now, this is interesting. look very closely here at this traffic. This has built over the course of the last couple hours. Earlier on in the stream, we were talking about how freely traffic was just moving in the wee hours of this invasion. This is that is gridlock traffic. Now I'm going to operate off of the assumption that this is either south or west that I'm looking. Hold on. So I don't see a sunrise. So yeah. Rush hour? I mean, that's pretty heavy for rush hour. There's a U.S. Global Hawk in the Black Sea. Okay. Take a look at that. You think we broke Rumble? Okay. Not rush hour, rush hour? That's funny. Guys, thanks for being here with us for a little bit. We are live discussing and trying to bring you as much coverage and less analysis right now than just bringing you footage as much as we can. Combat footage is our forte. We are Funker 530, a veteran-run a media team that focuses very specifically on showcasing what combat and use of force looks like, helping people understand war so that it can stop being romanticized, so that it is understood a little bit better by and for the masses. We have our own application available on both the iOS and the Google Play Store. You can download it. You can catch all of this footage that we've been going over of, rocket attacks, ground to air attacks that we've seen, Russia shooting down Ukrainian drones. But even historically, we've been around for over a decade. This page has been here through all of it. The app is relatively new. It's developed in-house. We have a very vocal community that's in there that has been a part of us for such a long time. For those of you that are new to our community, welcome. For those of you that are continuing to send in super chats, we appreciate that very much. It is very helpful. We are a small team. We are not some media conglomerate, and we're really only here to try to cut through the chaff as best we can. WTF, they have shot down drones today. Yep. Is there any chance one of you guys can drop back in the drone footage? Oh, absolutely. So I got some footage for you guys to look at, and this is not the drone footage. Some pretty fantastic footage that we're looking at here. Pretty scary stuff. This is actually from 2015. So something that you're going to see somewhat prevalent happening right now is footage being passed off as new that's not. Luckily, our team has been in the combat footage arena now for over that decade. We've been watching this stuff coming out of Syria, Africa, just about everywhere you can imagine where there's a conflict. India, Pakistan. This is being passed around on circles right now as being current to the current Ukrainian conflict, but it's not. We have a news show that we just started up last year where I have an episode that's going to be coming out very soon that speaks specifically to Russian misinformation that they are very adept at using, right? So misinformation is going to fly, especially with the level of access from a technology perspective that we have. Things are going to get passed off. Now, that includes us. There are going to be things that we are looking at that at initial glance look like something, but after a little bit more research, a little bit more of a deep dive, we're able to find more data or more detail for. Okay? So that is something that we are always on the lookout for. Footage that is being, once again, passed off as something that it's not. that's going to be prevalent right now. Is the site available? Okay. So I'm going to be pulling up that footage of the drone here in just a second. Got it. So this is a Ukrainian drone being shot down by a Russian manpad. Okay, so CNN has obtained footage that I'm going to use here, that I'm going to show you guys of Belarusian troops crossing the border.
Kyiv, Ukraine crossing the border to Belarus. Kalamazine entering Ukraine around 6:48 this morning. You have video, you have the information on this. Take us through it, please. Frederick?
So we did receive those reports early on about Belarus joining the fray with Russia, crossing the border, that northern border, east of Poland, northwest of the Ukrainian border. We now have that footage at the Belarusian border. War is coming, and we all know it. It's here. It's here. What you guys are looking at right now is a live feed of Kiev. Of right now in Kiev, per the live feed source, of course. Earlier on tonight, we did see a lot of explosion activity happening in this backside here. That was supposedly and reportedly preemptive strikes on the airport. We've also received reports at the airport of paratroopers, Russian paratroopers hitting ground. We've also heard Spetsnaz being thrown around and reporting as well. At Kiev airport, but we have seen explosions at nearly every international airport and provided footage to those. I will be bringing up some of that footage throughout the night as we're live here, just to rehash it, just to make sure those that are just joining us have had a chance to see it yet, or that haven't had a chance to see it yet. But it is always available to you to go to the app, our app, the Funker 530